What's good with the YouTube guy? You know, Vick from a convict's perspective. You already know what time it is. Another positive one coming directly from the county jail. I send mine to everybody out there as I smash, dash, and slide on through with a whole lot of energy, man. So please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support your boy, and hit that bell notifications for future fire content. So we got a breaking news update, man. It's not always breaking news, as we already know. A lot of times it's something bad, and apparently this is another killing occurred in Wasco State Prison, man. So this was an interesting one because I don't think it was an intentional. I don't think it was an intentional murder. I don't think it was an intentional killing. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information. This happened at Wasco State Prison, and I'm going to assume, right? I'm taking an assumption here that these were Southsiders based upon the information that I was able to gather. So apparently, an individual named David Dominguez, 29 years old, from San Diego, he was doing 3 years, guys, just 3 years, for extortion with threat of force. So basically, he was intimidating people and was trying to extort individuals, okay? So initially what ends up happening is he's being supported by some individuals. He's being basically carried to the control desk right there where the correctional officers are, and he's doing pretty bad. He tells the correctional officers that he had a seizure and that he fell and hit his head. Okay, he was pronounced dead about an hour and a half later, I believe, of head injuries. After further investigation, they found the individual, Jose Landeros, 27 years old of Riverside, who was doing 16 years for robbery. Mike Padilla, 37 years old of San Bernardino. He was doing 22 years for manslaughter while being intoxicated behind the wheel. So basically a DUI in which he killed somebody. Apparently this is what's being put out there by CDCR. This is just what they're saying. I'm not confirming it. These are just allegations. But apparently what they're saying is these two individuals went up in the cell. Okay? After further investigation, you got a couple other individuals. Leonardo Torres, 40, doing life for second-degree murder out of Santa Barbara County. Zachary White, 27, of Riverside, doing 6 years for a second vehicle theft. And then there was Mark Aguilan, 37, of Los Angeles County, doing life for murder. Now, they were also brought into the county jail. And that's the county Aztec, excuse me. So, man, as we already know, anytime a Southsider has to go, a Sureño, a Norteño, anytime they've been deemed no good, there's a hands-off policy. And what I mean by that is it has to be by bloodshed. They're supposed to basically send a squad in there to take you out, okay? Now, every once in a while, you'll hear about removals where an individual gets stabbed and they get cleared, okay? But never are you going to hear about the Southsiders ever just using fists to remove somebody or to try to kill somebody. A lot of times, especially in an environment where you have cells, you're on a higher risk facility like a level 3 or level 4, you're going to use weapon force. So, when people who are not familiar with Southsider politics, right, you can get what you call a calentada, right, which is basically a hot one. Calentada, I can't really say the word that good, right, but basically what that is basically a hot one. And what that is basically a hands-on DP. Someone goes up in there, boom, takes off on you, bam, that's your discipline. A lot of times it's going to be with two individuals, just like in this situation. Two individuals right up in the cell. That's normal procedure for discipline. A lot of times you know it's going to be coming and you're right there expecting it and you're ready for it. Now, a couple of things can happen. When you start giving someone a hot one up in the cell, of course you're going to fight back. People get a little aggressive, either they overdo it or one mistake, man, you know, you hit your head on a desk, a cement block, or something in the cell. These cells are small, right? And that could potentially kill you. And that's exactly what he told correctional staff was that he had a seizure and fell. Now, the reasons why I think that this was a discipline as well was he was helped by other inmates to the control desk. If this was basically someone getting removed and, you know, there was a green light and they had to go, nobody's going to be assisting them. They're going to leave them right there, and it would have been done with a weapon. Now, this also happened in Victorville, I think about 10 to 12 years ago, where some Southsiders got, this is the Fed, guys, they got 19 years for a similar situation where they went to go do a hands-on discipline, right? They overdid it and the inmate died. Now, this is the whole reason why Northerners don't do hands-ons. They don't do hot ones. Back in the days, in the early 90s to mid-90s, we used to do hands-on. Right? If the homeboy was fucking up, we'd send 1 or 2 people up in there to do a hands-on discipline. But what we realized was 2 things. We're putting that individual's life at risk, right? And number 2, a lot of people dropped out after they got basically their ego shattered. They couldn't accept it, a hands-on whooping from their people. Okay, so Northerners pretty much eliminated any type of removals or disciplines with hands-on, and let someone have a report to the hold, and they made it to where it had to be done by weapon force. Now, the South Centers have that same procedure, but they will give someone a discipline, right? And as we already know, what's going to happen now is CDCR is going to grant this as a removal. They're going to probably try to charge this guy for murders, but when it comes to a murder case, I think you have to have intent. Like I said, I don't know what happened. We're not there. These are all like hypotheses. These are all assumptions, and everything are allegations, right? But I think that this is pretty much a removal that went wrong. A hands-on discipline to where basically he must have probably messed up, right? They went in there to fucking DP him real quick, and shit got out of hand. He ends up either hitting his head, right, slips and falls, whatever it may be, or someone maybe did a little bit too much, and he lost his life. And see, that's why I try to tell people over and over again. It doesn't matter how much time you're doing. You can go to prison, okay, I'll be out in 2-3 years, but still go to prison and end up dying. This is the 4th murder of someone in the Department of Corrections that had less than 2 years basically to do on their sentence that has died in the state of California this year. That's a lot, man. Okay, so you never know what type of situation you're stepping into going in prison. Like I said, it's the belly of the beast. Individuals there, they're evil, they're sick. They're not there for behaving, behave like a Boy Scout out there in the streets. They're out there doing their damn thing. And as gang members, you're going to do your damn thing. But this is one of those situations where, man, I pray for all those involved, including this man's family, because just reading how it was written by the Department of Corrections, this is their statement to the public. It looks like to me it was a removal that just went a little bit too far, and now someone lost their life. And so that's why I've always been against it. I know right here in Arizona, the same thing, California does, right? Which is basically a hot one, which means when you have a discipline, they put 1 or 2 people on you real quick because it's a discipline. I've always been against it, and I still am against it because of situations just like this. Because as a man, you should let nobody put hands on you. So if someone's going to come at you with a hands-on discipline, you're going to react. You should react. You're not going to just sit there and ball up. But when that happens, you're going to force the other people to get a little bit more aggressive, and you may have a situation just like this where someone dies. And see, already the Department of Corrections in California this year, they've had what? They've had close to over 20 murders, I believe, this year. Man, don't quote me, but there's been a lot. Last year, the same thing. And just with the rise of violence, right, it's basically individuals are basically playing God with people's lives. When I was in the Department of Corrections, 20 years ago, right? 18 years ago, 16 years ago, right? You wouldn't see the magnitude of violence that we're seeing today as far as people dying by their own people. And that's just a fucked up thing. It ain't people getting into race riots. It ain't fucking riots and melees and stuff like that. It's people killing their own fucking people, man. Southsiders killing Southsiders. Northerners killing Northerners. Whites killing whites. Blacks killing blacks. And that's a fucked up thing because all these groups, right, they're supposed to have causes about supporting their people and being there for the betterment of their people, but all they're worried about is as far as egos, money, power, and when anybody poses any type of threat or they want to make an example, they have no problems pushing out their chest and doing something just like this where one of their own gets fucking killed. Anyways, man, this is some food for thought, man. With that said, your boy Flacco from a Accomplished Perspective. Hope everybody has a positive weekend. I'm out.